everyone, so welcome to my second pregnancy video. This is going to be a vlog covering weeks 14 through 20. So we are in the second trimester. Actually, third trimester is not that far from here. I have gotten past the 20-week mark, which will be in a separate video just because I want to kind of keep these just a few weeks along because there's so much to cover in pregnancy videos. So much changes from one week to the next, from one day to another. Everything changes even within the same day. You've got so many different things going on. So please pardon my voice. I have been sick, which I will get into in this update. It's more sinusy type of thing right now. The common cold, cough and stuff is slowly going away, but we'll get into it. So this is the second trimester vlog. The first one that I posted not that long ago would be linked here. That one is covering my entire first trimester. I was not able to do updates as frequently as I wanted to because my first trimester was a lot more difficult than I expected. Physically, it just took everything out of me. So I feel like besides being sick right now, I feel like I'm slowly kind of going back to feeling pretty decent through most of the days, and it's been more consistent. So let's just go ahead and get into the pregnancy updates, and let's start with week 14. And as I did in my last video, I will show photos, belly shots of them, and then towards the end I'll actually show you what my belly looks like now because it's so much bigger. Okay, so week 14 rolls around and I'm starting to feel like the nausea is only kicking in when my stomach gets empty. So if I continue to eat meals or snacks throughout the day, I'm pretty good, which is great because my first trimester, I was sick all day long. I could barely eat, could barely keep food down. So if you want more details on first trimester and some scary moments and a really bad ER visit, that will be linked above. So I started also feeling some pinching, pulling aches around my belly button. And so when I went to an appointment, which I am a high-risk pregnancy, so I go in every 3 weeks for ultrasounds. So at that appointment, I did talk to my doctor. It was on the left side of my belly button, which he says that there are some ligaments there. And so what I'm feeling is called round ligament pains, and I still feel them here and there. It's been a couple times where I felt them in the middle of the night to the point where it actually wakes me up. Even though I'm not really sleeping that well, I do feel them, and it's perfectly normal because your ligaments inside are stretching and pulling to accommodate a larger uterus, a baby that's growing and doubling in size, putting on some weight itself, plus all the extra weight that you're carrying really does affect the way your stomach area feels. So that is what I've been feeling, but it started really noticeable around that time frame. Also, that week 14, I did the baking soda gender test, which I'm not going to tell you what the results said on that because I want to figure out how to share the gender with you guys. But I was kind of curious to see if those gender at-home tests, old wives' tales, I should say, are any of them really real? Could they really point to any specific gender? I know what my gut is telling me and what my dreams have been telling me and what my doctor thinks it might be. And then, of course, the results from the anatomy scan. So I wanted to do it, and I did it very early on, and I bought brand new baking soda to do it because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't using old baking soda that was in my fridge, maybe thinking that that could alter my results. I did it with my first morning urine, which is what I've read online is good to do. I also did the one with the string and the ring, dangling my wedding bands above my belly with a string and then getting the results from that. I don't really know if these are quite accurate, and I also looked at the I don't know where I was going. The Chinese gender prediction calendar thing based on the month of conception and your age, and it kind of told me the gender that I think it is. Also in this week 14, I started to notice that my right breast had a little bit of a leak, and that is still something that has happened a few times throughout my pregnancy, but I noticed it in week 14, which I thought was a little early. But then again, who knows? Maybe it's because this is my second pregnancy, or maybe it's just part of it. I didn't really notice these types of things, I don't think, with my first pregnancy, with my son who is 6 now. And I also want to do a comparison between that pregnancy and this one, but I have to kind of wait until this one is close to being over. closer to my due date, so that I can actually kind of compare things and maybe compare the delivery of both, and see how they're different and how they were the same, if they are or will be. So at this point, I'm still on my pelvic rest, which I mentioned in my first trimester pregnancy vlog. I have been on pelvic rest since right around week 9, and that is still remaining through the rest of my pregnancy. So pelvic rest means no lifting, no sex, no douching. I can't really work any of my pelvic muscles just because my placenta is really close to my cervix. So as we get into other updates, I'll get into more of the placenta previa, a possible mild case of it. The doctor who told me that is not my normal doctor. My normal doctor has been incredibly booked and also on vacation and stuff. So with the holidays, it's been a little difficult for me to get in with my normal OB that's been seeing me. But I'm hoping that my next appointment, I get to see him and see what his opinion is, because that is coming from a brand new doctor who knows nothing about me, just kind of randomly went through my file really quickly and saw that, you know, I had some complications, and he just automatically said, pelvic rest, take it easy. So that's what I've been doing. Week 15. So week 15 was a pretty big week for me, because this is when I started to feel very tiny little flutters. It almost felt like if somebody took their finger and just lightly, just very gently poked you really low below the belly button, just very random. And I thought at the time this could be the baby. I wasn't quite sure, but looking back, it definitely was, because it was something that I continuously felt. And it would just be very random. There wasn't any sort of pattern to the little flutters and little movements. It was just here and there. And, you know, just it's quite nice, because it's very reassuring when you get to that point in your pregnancy, when you can actually feel the baby moving, especially if you've had some complications like I have. That really helped me sleep a little bit better at night, and this little one does move a lot. So that was really exciting, and that was probably the highlight of the week. For that week, just kind of finally getting to that point where I could actually feel this little baby moving around, and got a little gymnast here. So I'm also still at this point, week 15, still waking up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom. That has not changed. I do drink quite a bit of water throughout the day. I try to cut myself off after a certain time, but I do feel like I've been excessively thirsty, so I've been drinking a lot of ice water, and that really does help. But I do take sips throughout the night, so when I wake up to use the bathroom before I go back to bed, I do drink water. So of course that will cause me to have to go back to the bathroom several hours later, but it's okay. It's only going to get worse. I'm going to have to go pee every 5 seconds, so it's okay. 15, I felt like all of my meals that I was eating, I was actually able to keep them down, which is huge, because that was a problem for me in my first trimester, and that was really exciting. Again, week 15 I felt like was really good for me. Also physical changes with my body. I have at this point gained quite a bit of weight. I also have noticed that my boobs have gotten more sore. They've gotten bigger, at least half a cup size, if not more, increase at that point. And of course now it's even bigger, so I had to go and get myself a new bra that was a larger size, because my old bras did not fit, and none of my sports bras fit either, because they're very tight and constricting, and I want to be as comfortable as possible. So at week 15, I had gained 13 pounds so far, and definitely I've gained much more than that at this point. So I'm not really tracking my weight as far as trying to kind of control it. It is what it is. It's fine. I gained 40 pounds with my first pregnancy. I may gain the same, maybe more, maybe less. It's okay. I'm not really looking at the numbers. I'm just annotating it, because I want to sort of jot things down more in detail this time around, because I didn't do that with my first one. And I want to do that just in case I do have another third baby. All right, so week 16 was pretty much the same as week 15. The movements were more frequent in week 16, and the morning sickness seems to be gone, so I'm no longer throwing up at this point. And like I said, not a lot of change from week 15. A little bit of a change maybe in my belly. I have to go back and look at the photos, because that week 15 and 16 was quite a bit of ways ago. But I didn't really write down anything. I have my notes that I copied from my phone. Didn't have a whole lot of stuff happening in week 16 as far as changes or anything crazy. So week 17, my appetite seems to increase, and also my portion sizes. So I'm eating a lot more, eating more frequently. and my appetite seems to be more than usual. I have been, for the most part, when I'm not pregnant, I'm able to eat, my breakfast, maybe skip lunch because, my breakfast will fill me up, and then have a snack and dinner and then a small dessert, and I'm fine. But now it seems like, I have a big breakfast, I have to have my lunch, I have to have a big dinner, and then I have to have my snacks and also still my dessert at the end of the day, just to kind of end my day on a sweet note, which I've always done it for years. So my appetite definitely has increased. I also noticed in week 17 that I was having itchy skin. So my belly started itching, which is pretty normal, I think, because it's gotten so big that my skin has stretched out quite a bit. Also itching in my thighs, like the upper thigh area, and my arms. Maybe those are the areas that I'm putting on. I definitely know that the stomach, belly area is where I'm putting on a lot of weight. But my thighs also, a little bit in my arms. I'm noticing a little bit more kind of puffiness in my face. I've got a double chin. So we're like chiseling this out with some bronzer and contour. It's okay, because when I was pregnant with my son, like I said, I gained 40 pounds. Most of it was all belly and all in the face. My face was very, very round. So I'm going to work some contour magic here throughout the pregnancy to kind of keep my face looking a little bit slim, because I look back on photos and I'm like, whoa. Somebody should have handed me some contour then. But it's okay. It comes with it, and no big deal. It'll go away. So the itchy skin, I have been applying moisturizer directly after showering. I also apply belly balms and thick lotions throughout the day as well, that I will kind of share with you guys in more of pregnancy essential video. My pregnancy essentials video, which is what I want to do eventually, kind of share with you guys some things, my pregnancy pillow, some just clothing things that I have been living in just to make this pregnancy as comfortable as possible. I also annotated the new bra, which I've already covered. Bought a bra in a larger size. It's one that goes small, medium, large, extra large. I got it at Target. It's really thin and comfortable. It's like a cream color with some little gray decorations or designs on it. It's from Hanes. Really affordable, because I know that I'm going to eventually have to buy a larger size and then eventually go into nursing bras. So I'll cover that in my pregnancy essentials, about not spending a whole lot on certain things, just because I'd rather just keep it more affordable and spend the money on the baby stuff. So I had a doctor's appointment in week 17, and during that appointment I get ultrasounds done. So I've had ultrasounds so frequently through this pregnancy, and the main thing for my ultrasounds is obviously to make sure that the heartbeat is still nice and strong, which it is, and also to do cervical measurements, because my doctor thought that maybe my cervix might be kind of on the shorter side. It seems to be normal right now. And also to check to see the location of the placenta. It is still located very close to my cervix. So hopefully, as I get closer to my due date, that kind of moves. That's part of having placenta previa. It's a very mild case. This new doctor that saw me for this appointment was saying that he's very optimistic that by the time it comes for my due date, that my placenta technically kind of moves up, like the blood flow kind of gets out of the way and sort of moves. I don't know exactly too much of the details medically how this works, but if it doesn't move, then I will most likely need to have a C-section, because if the placenta is covering my cervix, can't really deliver vaginally, which sucks because it's not my birthing plan, but at this point, if that's what my option is, that's what I gotta do. So I'll get over it. I think the biggest fear for me having a C-section is the fact that I know what's happening and that I'm awake, even though I know I'm not feeling anything. I've never been in an OR before. I've never broken a bone. I've never had surgery before. I've been very blessed with really good health for the most part, that I haven't had to have someone cut me open. So just knowing that that's happening, that's probably where most of it is. And I think it's just a mental thing. And I think in that moment, if it comes down to that's my only option, then that's really my only option. So I have to just kind of get over it. And I think with time, I will get over it. So hopefully my placenta will cooperate and kind of shift just a little bit, just to the side of it. I also got my genetic testing blood work back. I did testing of, I think, when I did my testing for cystic fibrosis with my son, because that came back negative, I don't think they tested me, or maybe they did this time around. since it's been some time, but that was negative, which is really great. Also, my Down syndrome testing came back negative as well. So we're super thrilled that all of my genetic testing came back. Everything looks good and looks normal. At this point, I haven't still had my anatomy scan. They usually do that like around 20 weeks. So that will be in my next pregnancy update. So week 18, woohoo, the heartburn kicks in on week 18. And it seems to be where the heartburn kicks in the night. So not really during the day. Of course, it has to be at night when I'm resting, but it's okay. It sucks. There are certain things you could do to help it, as far as certain over-the-counter things that you can take. I really don't want to rely on those things. I just kind of want to push through it. If it continues, then of course you'll hear about it again in the next update. I'm still having the itchy skin at week 18, and so I'm just moisturizing frequently throughout the day, and that does help quite a bit. The movements have been a lot stronger as well at week 18. It's definitely very noticeable, and I know exactly what's going on. At this point at the pregnancy that I'm at this point in the pregnancy, if I can talk, you can actually kind of see it, like my stomach kind of moving a little bit. It looks kind of creepy, but it's also quite fun to see it, and a real big relief, honestly. So my belly has grown quite a bit. By week 18, it has gotten really, really big, and it's definitely, there's no denying it. I'm very pregnant. As my husband says, I look pregnant AF. So that's really great. It's exciting because everything is progressing and baby's growing and belly's growing and getting bigger. So that's really, really cool. I has, issues with sleeping at night, tossing and turning. So I have a pregnancy pillow that I bought a while ago, and I use it every single night, and it helps a little bit, but you just will feel kind of like you can't get comfortable sleeping on the left side. To increase circulation, then you have to toss to the right side. Can't sleep on your back, can't sleep on your belly. You just have to kind of work with it. It's something that you'll have to just deal with if you're pregnant watching for the next however long you've got left, or if you're at the beginning of your pregnancy for the next 9 months. But eventually you'll be able to go back to sleeping in the normal ways that you feel most comfortable. So that's still going to be an issue, and I don't think that's going to really change. I think tossing and turning is still going to be a problem even when I'm 9 months pregnant. So it is what it is. I'll just have to use a lot of pillows. Okay, so week 19 was also a pretty big week, good and bad. The worst part of week 19 was when I got sick. I got a cold, so the common cold, runny nose, sore throat, headache, cough, all of those wonderful things that come with a cold. But it is lingering a lot longer than usual. I would say, if I had to guess how long a normal cold would last when I wasn't pregnant, which was very rare for me to get sick, just a few days, and this is like 2 weeks and it's lingering. So I had to go to my primary care doctor because my OB's clinic was slammed. They literally had nothing, and I didn't want to go to labor and delivery just for a cold because they're going to look at me like I'm crazy. So I went to my primary care doctor, and he gave me a sinus rinse to do because I really can't take anything for it. I took Tylenol once because I had a headache. The headache turned into the worst migraine that I've ever felt in my life. It started in my head as a normal headache, felt like my temples were throbbing, and I could feel the pressure just shifting through my face, my gums, my teeth were hurting, and it was just really difficult for me to eat. And it was pretty bad, and a headache, migraine that was lingering for days, and it was just very, very miserable for me. The light was kind of bothering me, and I took Tylenol, which is safe to take when you're pregnant. Didn't really do anything, so I just gave up on the Tylenol. I'm not gonna keep taking Tylenol every 4 to 6 hours to help take the edge off. It didn't work at all, so I just kind of gave up on that. So I'm still dealing with that. Still have a lot of congestion and sort of nasally. It could be a pregnancy thing, or it could still just be this lingering cough that won't go away. So I'm just going to kind of push through it and hope that by the next week I'm more like myself. So week 19 was also the week that I noticed a very faint line on my belly, which is a very common pregnancy symptom. It's very, very light and faint. I don't think it ever really got that dark with my first pregnancy with my son. So I don't think it's going to get pretty dark this time, but I'll show you in like a little snapshot soon. And then this week, the highlight of the week although I was not feeling so great, was that my husband can actually now feel the movements of the baby as well. He can put his hand on my belly and feel this little one moving around, and it's quite fun because now he gets to actually experience and feel what I have been feeling for quite some time. So it's always really nice, and of course if you have any other kids, it's nice for them to feel it as well. So my son will kind of hold it, my belly, or put his hand there, and he'll feel movements. He'll kind of, if I can see the baby moving, I'll just kind of like get their attention, and then they'll kind of like stare at my belly, and then you can kind of see some movements. It's going to get much more noticeable because I had that with my firstborn. You could see like just an elbow and kicking all up in my ribs because he was head down for the last 2 months. It was just crazy, and it's fun. It can be uncomfortable at night though, and this one seems to be quite active in the night as well. So yeah, that's so fun. I really enjoy it. I think that's like the best part of the second trimester is not only feeling a little bit better than the first trimester, if you're one of the lucky ones, but also the movement. I think that's really great. So then week 20, we're halfway. Woo! This is the halfway point. So I'm still sick, so I brought in my halfway point, week 20, still sick, but that's okay. We're pushing through it. I started using a humidifier to see if that would help me breathe at night with my cold. It did okay, not a whole lot. So I decided that I was going to rest as much as possible because physically I was tired. I think that the cold symptoms or whatever I had, because my immune system is suppressed being pregnant, I think my body was just working in overdrive, and I was just physically tired. So I tried to rest and take little naps when I could. If I was, traveling in the car or whatever, I, have my husband drive so that I can kind of rest my eyes a bit. This week I had my official nosebleed for this pregnancy. I haven't had a full-on nosebleed since week 20, but with my son, I had a nosebleed every single day. And I want to say it started in my second trimester, progressed all the way until I gave birth, where I was having nosebleeds almost daily. So that may happen this time around, not sure, but so far I've only had one, so maybe not. And then the baby movements have been very, very strong. Like, it is definitely there. All right, so this is what the belly looks like. I had to move my chair out of the way. This shirt is a medium size from Old Navy that I got a couple months ago. I just want to be as comfortable as possible, so I'm not really wearing a lot of tight clothing. But this is what the belly looks like now. And I have an undershirt and then just some lounge pants because honestly, this is what I feel the most comfortable in. So here's the belly. Quite big. It's very hard. So this is the side, and then this is the front, and I'll show you. I have a lot of lint because I have lots of lotion and like tummy butter. So here is a look from the side there, and then here is that very faint line that I mentioned in the vlog that started coming up fairly early on in my second trimester, but there it is. That's pretty much it, you guys. I know it's quite a long video, but these videos tend to be a little bit longer just because I go into details about, symptoms, things that I'm feeling, and hopefully you guys enjoy these videos. I will be doing another pregnancy vlog with symptoms starting at week 21 and then going forward, because there's some things to update you guys on. Of course, the anatomy scan is done around this time frame or in the next vlog that you'll see. It's so fun because, at that point, you kind of know the gender, which is really big. I wanted to do gender reveal with friends and family and have, some of our long-distance family on Skype and FaceTime, but my husband wanted to know as soon as possible. So we've known for quite some time. I've had this gut feeling from very early on, which I did with my first, right around 3 months. I had a feeling I had a boy, and it was a boy. And I trust my gut. My gut usually doesn't steer me in the wrong direction, so that's exciting. Let me know what you guys think it is down in the description box. I would be happy either way. With a little girl, that would be really awesome, but it would be really great to have a boy as well because I get to just use my son's old clothes. He can pass down his toys. It's a lot more affordable that way. Man, my voice is really going out today. But But either way, we'd be happy. So stay tuned on more pregnancy videos, obviously vlogs with updates on symptoms. I will be doing pregnancy essentials, things that I buy, nursery tour, once I get that set up, and just kind of share with you guys these things, and maybe even do some like vlogging clips on my phone and see if I can kind of make it into like a lifestyle thing. I would like to do that, but we'll see how that goes. Man, my voice, I gotta go get some tea. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thank you so much for tuning in, for watching. Leave your comments below on what you think the gender is, and if you want to share any of your symptoms that you've had in your second trimester, please let me know and we can communicate. And I love hearing back from you guys. I always love hearing comments or reading your comments and responding. Stay tuned for future vlog videos coming up about baby number 2, and I will talk to you guys very soon. Bye-bye.